you tuned into Jackie and the Other Side of Beauty. In today's video, we are going to be doing a Shop My Stash rehash. And what that means is that we're going to be going over the products that I pulled for my February Shop My Stash, featuring all black owned makeup brands. We just want to recap the products that were used and let you know of the hits and misses, if any. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're returning, it's always good to have you back. So without further ado, let's jump into today's video. So I hope not to keep you long. I'm going to try to go through this as quick as possible. My goal is to cut the length of the videos that I put out. So I know a lot of them recently have been really long, and so I'm determined to cut down on the length of my videos. So we're just going to jump right in. Not going to speak much about all the products unless they're new. So I'm going to kind of categorize them so I could just breeze right on through them. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, I do want to talk about the face powders, and these are, not in any particular order. It's just what I'm grabbing. So again, these products are all black owned makeup brands. We were doing honoring Black History last month, and all of the black owned makeup brands that I wanted to just feature last month in the month of February. So first up, we do have my powder by Fenty Beauty. And this is in the shade Nutmeg. You guys already know that this is a favorite of mine, and I continue to use it often, whether it's Black History Month or not. This is just a powder that I do enjoy using. Next is my Beauty Bakery. This is the bite-size pinch of flour. This one is in the shade Almond or Chestnut. And again, this is a nice size powder as opposed to this jumbo one that I have in Fenty. I don't know if I'll ever get through that one, but this is a nice size. I picked this up in Target, and I guess that's why it's called bite size, because of the size of it. And again, I do enjoy using this powder quite a bit. I have another one. Now, these two powders that I just mentioned, I use on the face. I don't necessarily use them to set my concealer. But this one, the Fenty Beauty, this was in the shade Honey. Now, this is one that I do use to go in and set my under eyes. I used it today. I wasn't really keen on this shade originally because I just wasn't used to having a under eye that was kind of lightened. I kind of used to tend to get something more skin tone, but as I started getting used to exploring and pushing my boundaries, I did become very fond of this one. And again, this is in the shade Honey, and I do like this one a lot. The formula on the Fenty Beauty and the Flower Beauty are just A1. They're really a good formula. I don't find that they bunch up or cake underneath my eyes. But my eyes can do that with any concealer or powder. It's just depending on the day. So I have another powder that I use to set my concealer under my eyes, and this is by Black Radiance. This is a banana powder, and I like this so much. This is so smoothing underneath the eyes, and it looks great. It gives it just enough brightness if you're working your way up. And lastly, I picked up this one by the Lip Bar. This is in the shade Brown Sugar Babe, and this is a finishing powder. So I'm so happy to have this. I think I have two finishing powders, one being this one by the Lip Bar. This is by the Lip Bar, and the other one by Charlotte Tilbury. So I have two finishing powders total, and I really enjoyed using this one. And you just may see this one in next month's Shop My Stash as well, because I've really been loving this. Next, let's talk about setting sprays or makeup refreshing sprays. I do have this one by Fenty Beauty, and this is called What It Do, and it is a makeup refreshing spray. Now, I like to use this right after I get all my powders on. I like to go into such a fine mist, you guys. This is just a love for me, and if you've been here any length of time, you know that. I had to get a little bit more on the black market, and I actually thought I was buying the full size, but I bought one of those little mini sizes. Y'all, if I don't learn how to read the fine print, I don't know what. So I ended up pouring it into this bottle and just giving me a little bit more. But my next one will be a full size. I am going to read the fine print. But this just, you know, it doesn't set your makeup. It just kind of settles things down. It's just like a breath of fresh air. Like it says, it's a makeup refreshing spray, and that's what it feels like. It feels like it just refreshes your makeup, but it doesn't necessarily set your makeup down. It doesn't necessarily take all the powdered look away, but it just refreshes it. So I love this, and I'll keep buying it. My next one is by LYS. It's called Skin Loyalty, and this is a natural finish spray. Now, I got a lot of good use out of this for the month of February. I really wasn't too much of a fan of this one. This one kind of reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury one, and I'm not really a fan of that one. But the more I used it, I could see the benefits of it. It is a natural finish. It's not really a mattifying setting spray that just really sucks the life out of your skin, and that's why I'm not really such a fan of Charlotte Tilbury. But this one, I would like to see a little bit more radiance from this. Not total radiance, but I would just like to see a little bit of radiance from this. But this is a nice spray, and the more I use it, the more I'll be able to form more of an opinion of it as to whether or not I will repurchase this one or not. But for the month of February, it was a nice spray the more I got to use it. The nozzle was clogged up, so I had to run it under hot water. And I know that's a common theme with this setting spray, that the sprayer or the nozzle stops working. But try running it under hot water and see if that helps. But yeah, I right now I say that this one was okay. I'm still learning whether or not I like it or not, but it was okay, and I did enjoy it during the month of February. Next, we have this one by Juvia's Place. It's called Ready, Set, Sealed. This one I do love. Now, they finally got some deets online about this setting spray as to whether it's a mattifying spray or what it's supposed to do. It did say, if I'm not mistaken, that it was a matte setting spray, and my eyes are just running. I feel my lash on my eyeball, so they probably just getting ready to slip off because my eyes, my allergies, everything. Okay, so it did say that this was kind of like I'm sorry, my allergies are cutting up, you guys. Oh, it's making my head hurt as well. What was I saying? Oh, that this was supposed to be kind of like a mattifying setting spray, and I don't really get that from the setting spray. I think it sprays out beautifully in terms of the finish that it leaves on your face. I think it's just gorgeous. It does seem to melt the powdered look away. I do think that this one does. It seems to have a little bit of a radiance to me. It doesn't come off as a mattifying setting spray to me, and I guess that's why I like it so much. This was kind of a Johnny-come-lately to the bunch, but you can see how much I've used it already. I like the spray in the bottle. Just the aesthetic of it is just gorgeous. So this, I already know will be a repurchase. Juvia's Place hit it out the park with this one, and I love it. Okay, the next products, let's talk about our foundations that we use for February. First up is this Thread. I don't know if it's called Thread Beauty or what, but it's called Thread. This is a foundation stick. And I picked up the shade 140, which is medium neutral golden. And I was a little concerned about the shade because I don't really do golden, but this worked out perfectly. I got a lot of comments that you guys thought the match was spot on. So I'm happy about that. I picked this up from Target. This wore really well. I didn't have any issues with this. You know, As far as blending it out, it blended really nicely. It looked good on the skin. I don't think it transferred a lot, at least I didn't notice it transferring. This just wore really well. I didn't see it settling into any of my creases, my smile lines, or I didn't see it settling anywhere. I just think it wore well. It didn't oxidize. It just looked really good on the skin from the time I put it on until the time I took it off. So this was a winner. I'm not sure if I mentioned that I picked this up from Target. Next, we have Pat McGrath's foundation. This is by Pat McGrath Labs. It's the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. And this is in the shade Medium Deep 24. And this is an oldie but goodie. The only thing that I don't like about this foundation is that it is so liquidy. You put it on and it just runs. It's so liquidy. That's the only thing. I wish it had a little bit more body to it. The shade is really good, but it does kind of come off just a little orange or golden. But medium deep, I don't know that this is really a neutral shade, so that may be why it comes off to me as kind of a little bit golden or orange looking. But when it's all said and done, this looks great on the skin. So that's the only thing. It's just so liquidy. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Next, I tried another new product by Danessa Myricks Beauty, and this is the Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. This is what it looks like. I picked up the shade 11, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is a neutral olive undertone. So I picked this up. I wasn't sure it was going to work, but this looks so good on the skin. You guys told me that this looked good. This is a light coverage skin tint. I heard someone say, and I have to disagree. I heard someone say, I'm sorry, I'm just weeping, that this was full coverage. Even with 2 coats of this, I didn't get full coverage. I would get light to light medium, but I don't think you can build this up to full coverage. But of course, I would never try to build it up to full coverage, so maybe they were able to, but that's not my thing, so I didn't ever try to. What I did do is go in with the Juvia's Place Radiance. I think this is the Juvia's Place Radiance Glow. I used both of these together, and the coverage was phenomenal. These two were a good match together. So if I just want a light everyday look, I can just go in with this by itself. Or if I want a little bit more to my skin tint that day, if I want to look a little bit more put together, a little bit more polished, then I will go in with both of these, and these were a winner. We're not there yet, but I just wanted to let you know that this, I do like I said, this is perfect for those makeup, no makeup day looks. So this worked out really well, not so heavy on the skin. Yeah, it wasn't so heavy on the skin. It just wore really well. So this was a win-win in my book. And lastly, we used the Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. I think I heard Gigi say that this was not available anymore. And I couldn't tell, because both of the foundations by Fenty Beauty, both of them, the first one that she came out with, and then this one, both of them have been on sale, off sale, on sale, like they were discontinuing both of them. So this one's, Gigi said it's not available anymore. So I still have pretty much plenty still left in here. So I'll still get some good use out of this as long as it doesn't expire on me. This is in the shade 420. And yeah, this is an oldie but goodie. I love wearing this a lot in the fall and winter, because it is a hydrating foundation. So it just gives my skin the extra hydration that it needs during that time of the year. So this one, of course, was a good one for me, and I enjoy using this every time. Okay, so let's talk about our primers next. Again, we're on the Fenty Beauty train. I have the Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. This is in Soft Matte. I think this is one that I use the most, not only in the month of February. It's just one that I like to use. It's in between my comfort zone. It's right at my comfort zone, in between matte and Radiant. So this one I enjoy using all the time. Again, this is a soft matte formula. And I just added this not too long ago. And this is in the matte version. Again, this is by Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r. It's called a True Matte Mattifying Primer. And lastly, we have this one. Maybe I use this one the most, honey, because look here. But this is their Soft Silk, which I've never noticed the wording before. When I was pulling it for my Shop My Stash, I happened to see that, and I said, oh, that's different. So this is the Soft Silk, and I can kind of see that now that, you know, I see the name of that, because it is kind of like silky going onto the skin. So this is their Hydrating Primer. Excuse me, somebody wants to get out. Bye, baby. I love you. We've been gone practically all day. Me and my buddy, we've just been hanging out. So, this is the Hydrating Primer. And, yeah, I'm going to bed. This is the Hydrating Primer. And this would definitely be a repurchase. I use this quite a bit. And yeah, I really like it. Like I said, now that I see it in writing, it does have that silky formula when you apply it to the face. So this one is a good one. I thought I used really the soft matte one more, but it looks like I've used the hydrating one more, which shouldn't be a surprise because y'all know I like hydrating products. Okay, next up, let's talk about the bronzers that we used in February. Oh, before we do that, let me talk about one more primer, and that's by Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. Now, you guys, you never heard me say anything about this primer once I got it. I used it in the Shop My Stash and never said boo about it because I didn't really think that I liked it very much. And that's just the truth. Until I used it this month, or I used it a little bit more, I guess, off camera, and I started noticing that it's not a bad primer after all. I've used quite a bit of it, and it's because I like to use it in my pore area. It kind of blurs the pores in my skin, but initially, I don't know what I really thought I was going to see from this primer. I don't know what I was expecting, and I just put it on and I was just like, what is all the hype about? You know, like, I just didn't get it. And I just kept using it, and I was just like, I don't think I like this because, I don't know, I was just expecting more. I just didn't know what to look for. And so one day I said, well, I'm just going to use this just yet, because I think before I was using it all over my skin and just really didn't notice anything. And I just couldn't figure out how to use it. So one day I said, well, I'm just going to put it, you know, in my pore area. Just put it here, and then I'll put my other primer on the rest of my face. But I started noticing the more that I would use it in my pore area, that it was blurring my pores. And so I was like, okay, so this, you know, that'll be the way that I'm going to use this primer. I'm just going to use it to, you know, I have pores around my nose and just right in this area, my cheek area. And so I said, well, that's how I'm going to use the primer. And, you know, once I started noticing that it was blurring it a little bit. So I have been using it that way from then on. And I love it the best that way. I'll even use it on my forehead. You know how you have those little lines on your forehead? I'll even use it on my forehead to blur my lines on my forehead. And it actually does blur. So this, what is it called? The Danessa Myricks Universal Blurring Balm Powder. This writing is so small and I cannot see good today for some reason. So yeah, I would have to agree now 100% that this does blur not only the lines on my forehead, but also in my pore area on my nose and my cheeks. So that's how I am going to use this product, and I have been enjoying using it that way. So yeah, this has been a really good, after some time, it's been a really good product and that I really enjoy using. And now we're going to talk about our bronzers. We have this one by Color Rain, and this is in the shade Naughty Spice. I use this quite a bit. We only pulled 3 bronzers. So this is what this bronzer looks like in Naughty Spice. I did not use this bronzer that much, to be honest, and that is the Fenty Beauty bronzer in Cocoa Naughty. I just didn't find myself reaching for this one. I just feel like I want just a little bit more depth from this bronzer, and I've said it time and time again. Got a little hard pan going on right here, but yeah, I didn't use this that often. I just have to be honest, I didn't use it that much. But I did find myself, and I am becoming more and more comfortable with cream products. Thank the Lord. I just want to buy more and more. So that's because of this LYS bronzer stick. And this is in the shade Strength. I use this quite a bit. This is what the shade looks like. I used to shy away because it was so much deeper, so much richer than the LYS powder bronzer in Strength. So I would shy away from it as a bronzer. I was like, I'm just going to use this as a contour then. But I just used it, and then sometimes I didn't even add bronzer on, but sometimes I went with bronzer on top of this as well. But yeah, I've been loving trying to do like my cream products first and then going in with my powder. I've just been trying to, you know, trying different things and different ways of doing my makeup. So this I have really used a lot, and I have been loving it, you guys. Okay, next up, let's talk about our concealers. I do have a concealer by the Lip Bar, and this is in the shade Cinnamon. Love the doe foot on this, how it kind of comes to a point. You can get up here and then draw your little line for your concealer. This is to me, I think this is like a medium coverage concealer. It's kind of close to my skin tone because, you know, I kind of go a little brighter these days. So I feel like this is kind of close to my skin tone. Not too much brightness, but really not exactly my skin tone. But I do like wearing this concealer. So I hadn't picked this one up in a bit, so I was glad that I got to use this during the month of February. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And you guys already know I am in love with this one by Mented. This is a full-time brightening concealer, and I have the shade CEO. Haven't had it that long, but y'all, do you see? I've used this a lot, and I just love it. This is probably one of my favorite products by Mented. Concealer by Mented is a winner. It wears really well, gives good coverage. It doesn't settle into my fine lines and creases. It doesn't settle in them. It just really wears well, and I really like it. And this one by Fenty is new to the block. This is the Fenty... Y'all know I can't see today. I don't know why. Oh, it's called We're Even. I love the names that they come up with these products. And this is in the shade 400N. This is what it looks like. And as I mentioned, I never tried the original, but I've heard people say that they like this one better than the original. And speaking of doe foots, just looks like somebody bent it. But it is perfect for putting it underneath your eyes. I use this again, just like the other one. I use this quite a bit, and I do like the formula on this one. This is supposed to be a hydrating concealer, and I love that. I love that it's not, you know, just making my under eyes look lifeless. I love that it has some little radiance to the under eye, making it look hydrated. Not making it look like it's just sucking the life out of my under eyes. I have mature skin, and I love hydrating products for my mature skin. So this is a great concealer. I do recommend it highly. Okay, you guys, I forgot to mention this product when I was talking about the bronzers, and this is the True Complexion Contour Palette by Black Radiance. I didn't really play with this a lot. This came into play towards the end of February, and I kept looking at it in my tray, and I was just like, I don't feel like using that. But towards the end of February, I think this shade right here was a turnoff for me because this is so deep, kind of like the LYS bronzer stick is just so deep that when I would use it, I would mix these two together. But I use the LYS bronzing stick, and sometimes if I wanted to go on top with a bronzer, I would go in with this one sometimes, and I loved that look. I even used this in today's video just to bronze up a bit. I used a lot of bronzer today, you guys, because I don't know if I've already mentioned this or not, but I picked up a foundation that was the wrong shade, so I used a lot of bronzer to kind of make it work. But yeah, I used this towards the end of February just so I could get some use out of it, because I wasn't feeling it originally. I just was like, I got enough bronzers in here, I ain't gonna use that. So I use this shade. I don't even think that I used this highlighter. I think I only stuck to this middle shade in this palette only. Yeah, but at least I got a little bit of wear out of it. Now let's talk about our blushes. For blush, we use this Power, this Color Rain times Power, and this is in the shade My Day 1. It has a blush and a highlighter in the palette. This is what it looks like. Beautiful blush and beautiful highlighter. I always enjoy using these. And then I had the blush in the shade Prima Donna by Danessa Myricks Beauty. I used this one. And I think at one point in time I was trying to use it with a sponge. But I picked up this Rare Beauty blush, which is a little bit more dense and a little bit more slanted. It is still a dual fiber brush, but the bristles are not as long as this one. And I used this today when I put on this blush. I don't even know how it got on that, but that brush gives me a lot more control. So it makes me want to go ahead and pull these products more. And again, this is in the shade Prima Donna. This is by Danessa Myricks Beauty. And this is one of her Yummy Skin blushes, I guess. This is one of her Yummy Skin blushes. So those are the two blushes. I only pulled 2 blushes for the whole month. Oh, no, I didn't. And I also pulled this Pat McGrath. I pulled this Pat McGrath Lab. Some of my products be tucked behind other ones. And this one is in the shade Paradise Venus. Again, this is Pat McGrath Labs. And I really love this shade. It's really different from what I already have in my collection. And it shows up so nicely on dark skin. Not to say you can only use it on dark skin, but on my dark skin, it shows up so nicely. And I really like this blush. The formula is really nice. This is a soft punch of color. You know, it has that pigment there, but it goes on so softly and so smoothly. So, yeah. I really like this blush by Pat McGrath Labs, and I'm glad I picked this shade up. And speaking of highlighters, we have the Color Rain blush and highlighter, and I pulled one more highlighter all on its own, and it is the Black Magic Carnival highlighter in the shade Barbados, and this is by Oma Beauty. And I told you guys that this is one of my favorite highlighters. It does come with a mirror and a very large pan. This highlighter is just gorgeous. Just so pretty. And it's kind of, I was going to say it's kind of subtle, but it's really not. Again, this looks so good on melanated skin, and I love this. I pull it every chance that I get. Okay, so let's talk about the Radiance Glow by Juvia's Place. This is new to the market. I picked this up at the same time I picked up the setting spray. I love this. I've used this quite a bit. I used it today to get the foundation to work. That was the wrong color. I went in with this Juvia's Place, and yeah, it just made everything turn out so nice. It just made everything work out. I hope I'm not looking too bronzy. I think it was my Valentine's Day look. I put it on the skin first, and this by itself truly looked like it could be just worn as a foundation. And it had so much coverage. I just don't think that this is quite the same. Like I said, I think it has more coverage, more pigment, and I don't know. I have both products and I like them both. Maybe I'll start wearing the Charlotte Tilbury again. I just have it in my everyday makeup basket, but I don't pull for it very often. But I don't think that I would ever put the Charlotte Tilbury all over my face. It just would, to me, would have too much shimmer to my face, too much glow. Whereas this one has that radiance and glow, but I'm just, to me, this makes me look so bronzy. And my skin does have a radiant look to it, but not a shimmery or hider look to it. So I don't know. To me, these are just different. Everybody has their own opinion about it, I guess. But to me, I just think they're a little bit different. So I did pick this up, and of course, you know, I love this product. Let me see if I can hurry up before all my makeup disappears. I think the last thing we have is the lip bar. We have the eyeliner by the Lip Bar. Very creamy and very, very pigmented. This black is really black. It's called Straight Outta Patience. And it's a very black and creamy eyeliner. I want to get this one in brown as well. We have the Pat McGrath Intensifies Eyes. This is what I would use in place of a glitter glue. And I did that for today's eye look. You'll see the eye look on another video. But I used this instead of glitter glue because I wanted to use this for Black History Month. And what else? Oh, I did pull and I already put it back. I did pull also for my pores because I wasn't sure if the Danessa Myricks was going to work out for me. So I did pull the Rare Beauty Pore Filler to fill in my pores, but I end up not even using it. I don't even know where it is at this point. But so I did just stick to the Yummy Skin Balm by Danessa Myricks. Now, in terms of eye primers, did I only have the Fenty Beauty? No, I had the Fenty Beauty. This is their Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer, and this is in the shade Abyssal Pink. And I also have the Paint Base by Colored Rain, and this is in the shade Wheat. Both of these, this is a gripping eye primer. I find that I have to put this down and then go on top just a little bit with some powder. Just be able, because, you know, I don't have time to always let things dry down. But with this is just a gripping eye primer, period. So I do go in with my powder on top of it and then go in with my eyeshadow. And this one is just a paint base, just a eyeshadow base. And it just covers your lid and blanks it out so nicely. So I use both of these. Oh, yes. So for my brows, I ended up using another product by Thread. And what we have here is a spoolie, and we have the brow product itself. It kind of goes in that little triangle shape. I think this is like dark brown or something. And then on the other end, this is called, says Thread Define It 3-in-1 Brow Styler. I think it was like a dark brown. And on this side, you have a brow setter. I love this brow setter. It really defines your brows. It looks like you have those little hair-like strokes. Yes, it looks like you have those like hair-like strokes. I'm not sure if you can see them in my brows. This is a clear gel, and I am not one, I feel like I'm talking too much. I'm not supposed to be talking a lot. I'm not one for brow gels. I have picked up the one by e.l.f. And if I've gotten another one, I've used it sporadically. But I use this every day because I like that it's a 3-in-1. I don't have to have a separate product. Like, I just unscrew this in, and here's the brow. Undo this, and here's my spoolie, and undo this, and then here's the brow gel. I like this so much, and it keeps your brows, it's not hard, it's not crunchy, but it keeps your brows in place. And you saw the little definition to the brows. It keeps them like that. It's no muss, no fuss. So this I like a lot, you guys. This is so good. I love that brow gel. And lastly, all we have left are some eyeshadow palettes. Try to get through this really fast. So the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today is this one by Juvia's Place. It's the Berries. I use this shade right here and this shade right here. Very pigmented palette, as you can see. I love this palette. I hadn't picked it up in a while, you guys, so I wanted to use it for this month. Then I have Clarity Cosmetics Bridal Palette. I did a dedicated look with this palette and used a shade, this shade right here for this part of my eye. And this is in the shade Who's Catching the Bouquet. I love the metallics in this palette. They are so effortless and they show up like, like nobody's business. Then I did another, then I used also the Chocolate Martini palette by Glamlight. This is what this one looks like. Then I have the Dirty Martini palette. I did a dedicated look. My friend Rachel asked for a green eyeshadow look, and I used this palette here to do so. This is what it looks like. Then we took it way back to Christmas, and I used the palette that I hadn't used in ages. And this is by Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation palette. Haven't used this in years, you guys. This is the packaging. This was one of her Christmas palettes. This is what it looks like. This green in this palette is so pretty. It is one of those shifting colors, as well as this one right here. Both of these, very beautiful. I really enjoyed using this palette. I also had the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette featuring Jackie Aina. I used this one, of course. Such a beautiful palette. Such a beautiful palette. And you know I stayed in these pinks and purples. I just use a lot of shades in this palette, and you can't go wrong. That's why I wanted to pull this palette, because I had green palettes. I had berry palettes, and you know, just so I wanted something that I could use like kind of like every day. So that's what this one was for me, because it had a lot of shades in there to choose from, just every day. And as well as I use this one as an everyday palette. This is my Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Mothership 8 Divine Rose palette. This is what this one looks like. And I wore this to work a couple of times, because this one just isn't something that you wouldn't be able to wear to work. This is definitely one. This is one of the shades in the palette that flips from green to pink. These two right here are her specialty shades right here that just have all the sparkle and the glitter and the glitz that you're looking for. This palette is very nice. I enjoy playing with this, and I hadn't done so in a while, so this was a good pull. And lastly, we have the Colored Rain, which I almost overlooked. I use this one a lot. This one is just always a goodie. I don't know if you can see this one. I already have a dent in this shade. But yeah, this one is just always a good palette to bring it home with. And I love using this one. So I'm glad that I pulled this one for my shop, my stash. Now, the only two things that I'm not mentioning in today's video are the mascaras. Remember, I have the Fenty Beauty mascara. And then I had the mascara by Ami Collet. Well, remember, I just uploaded the video of my top 5 mascaras. I uploaded that Friday. But when I work on Friday, you know, I do my mascara, my brows, and my lipstick at work. And I left my mascaras at work. I just looked through everything searching for them. I was like, tell me, I did not leave my mascara at work. But I left my mascara at work. So I don't have those to show to you in today's video. But you can look at my recent upload and you'll see the Fenty Beauty mascara in there and hear my thoughts. And the Colé mascara is also in there, and you'll hear my thoughts on that one. So that does complete today's Shop My Stash rehash. I'm not going to go over all the lipsticks that I use. So that completes today's video. I've shown you all the products that I use for my Shop My Stash in the month of February. Really, I didn't have any misses. I had some afterthoughts about some products and some, opinions about some, but all of my products actually worked out really well. So really no misses. So I've used most of these products before, and all the products that were new to me worked out fabulously. They worked out fabulously. I love them so much. So yeah, that's it for today's video. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and ringing the notification bell. It just lets you know each and every time that I upload a video. And share the channel, you guys. Please share, because you know I don't mind. And lastly, please know that you're always welcomed and wanted here on my channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, my friends, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.